TitleMatchNetwork.com.
You actually helped Paul with a lot of booking too at one point, or you helped write storylines and stuff.
Yeah, we would. I don't know if it was just because I could put up with Paul more than other people. I mean, it's something I always wanted to do anyway. I mean, every minute of my life kind of revolves around this business. I wanted to learn everything I could. And Paulie likes to just babble constantly 24 hours a day about wrestling too. So if there was somebody that didn't mind sitting on the phone with him from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., then so be it. And you got to help him out do stuff. So I freely volunteered to do that. And then I go to the studio and help him do the TVs and stuff. And I mean, Dreamer was always there. Shane was always there. Other guys that really, really wanted to be involved and, and learn more stuff. So that was fun. And then because I was still going to Vintage TVs, Paulie had me, I would when we did the thing when Sabu and Rob were WWF and they had the banner and stuff like that. I mean, I went to the office, and they gave me the banner. I was kind of just because I was around those guys more often, although Paulie could have done it very well without me, I was just around them. So I kind of got to carry messages back and forth. And I thought I was fucking hot shit, And when we went to Montreal with the Shawn Bret deal that night, we walked in. I mean, I had no reason to be there early, but Tammy had to be there a little bit earlier. We walked in, the production meeting was over, and Vince starts yelling, "Where have you been?" And I'm looking around man, he's hot at somebody. He's like, "I'm talking to you. Where have you been?" I'm like, I don't know. It's a bingo hall. I don't know why. He's like, "Where is that tape?" I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." He goes, "We held the production meeting up for you." I'm like, "For me?" He's like, "I walks away." I'm like, "What the hell?" I go and call Paulie from the production room. There's a message. I'm like, "Dude, Vince is yelling at me about some kind of tape. Call me back." So I'm just standing by the curtain watching them hook all the stuff up. And Tony Chimmel, the ring announcer, comes over. He's like, "Where's Candido?" I'm like, "I'm here." What? He goes, "There's a Raul on the phone for you." I go, "What?" I go, "Hello?" He goes, "This Chris?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "This is Raul." I was like, "Who the fuck's Raul?" He goes, "It's me." I'm like, "Paul, what the fuck is wrong with you? What's going on?" He's like, "Well, it was before our November to Remember. We had cut a promo because it was what do they call their Survivor Series, like Gang Rulz or something like that. So we did some promo knocking that whole thing, and apparently they were going to air our promo on Survivor Series to help us plug November to Remember. And Paul had just told me this. Well, why did you? He's yelling at me about some tape. He goes, they're doing something with Shawn and Bret, so I didn't think he'd want to be bothered by it. So I was like, and this is in the afternoon. I'm like, what are they doing with Shawn and Bret? So I mean, I don't know if the whole thing was really a work or it wasn't work, but there was apparently Paul knew something underhanded and tricky was going on.
Right. Huh. That's great. Now, did you have a hard time being on the road and Tammy being separated from you?
No, because she wasn't on the road anymore. They would just bring her to TV, and then they would just send her to appearances and stuff, and she would go to the studio and do all the voiceovers and some on-camera stuff in front of the blue screen and that, and she would only go to make the TVs.
You would still go to some of the shows, I think, with her, right?
Yeah, they why I don't know, but they were still giving me tickets to go to TV. I don't know if it was they were doing so much with her, and Paulie was already secretly on the payroll, so maybe they're like, well, what do we do about this deal? Was she going to leave because we have a lot of stuff invested in her? And Paulie was like, well, if you just fucking let Chris come to TV, and this is I'm just assuming this, and let him act like he's doing something, he'll be happy. So they stuck me in the pre-tape room. I would sit with downtown Bruno, and and they gave me Furnace and LaFon again. We ended up together to help teach them how to do promos. I doubt there was ever fucking film in the camera, or they probably just a cardboard count of a guy standing there like this to make it seem like I was was doing something. I never got paid for anything, but they still let me go to the TV with her and gave me tickets to go and hang out. And the weird thing was everybody treated me much nicer that I was gone than now I was back but not really working for them, and which was probably a dumb thing to do, to have me go and do that, because all of a sudden I got to hang out in a different way with the Jim Rosses and stuff like that, because I was just kind of insinuate myself into places that I probably shouldn't have been, but for some reason they let me do it. So I became kind of chummy with them. And we're in Calgary when Taka and Sasuke had that match, the Calgary Stampede pay-per-view. Yeah. And Jim Ross came to me and said, hey, we really like the stuff you're doing on Paulie's TV. And now with these guys coming in, we're going to do a light heavyweight thing. And a lot of, indie light heavyweight guys. And, we just want to come in, do that same character and stuff. And me being the fucking dick that I was, thinking I was important because I got to work in ECW and hang out at the back of TV and give guys to a fucking empty camera. I was like, you know what? WWE's always been a big man territory. The belt's just not going to work, so I really don't feel like coming in. Like I was hot shit. Like, you know what? Nah, I really don't want to. So that was kind of, another asshole move I made.
Have you seen the ECW DVD?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
I didn't see the whole thing yet. For some reason, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the damn DVDs. I know you guys do that stuff, but it gets scratched or something, or maybe my DVD player is just cheap. But I got more than halfway through, and it's correcting disc error or something, and it does some kind of shit. What I saw of it the first half, it was, it was good. It was entertaining. It was pretty somewhat truthful, but I didn't get the whole way through it yet.
No, ECW is planning on doing an ECW pay-per-view, I guess, in June. Of course, it's going to be watered down and stuff like that. You think they'll contact you and Tammy to do it or not?
I don't know, because I was talking with them for a while after I talked to Tom when I came back to last January and had that discussion with him. He was kind of helping me out, getting my life back together and stuff. He brought me to the Raw the day after WrestleMania last year, and JR gave me a good hour or so of his time. I mean, Vince sat and talked to me. I mean, everybody was really cool. And so, JR was like, well, you couldn't just be looking at me lying to me right now, because that's what addicts do. And he goes, how do I know if you're straight? I said, you don't know. I said, but all you can do is, give me a chance. I don't expect to get hired today. You haven't seen my face in a while. I said, I'm not the shape I need to be in yet. But I still, but I still know I'm. And truthfully, besides, fucking Shawn and Flair, and then Benoit and Angle, I don't think there's anybody up there that's better than me. A lot of guys who were I'm as good as, but besides those four, there's nobody that's better. And I needed that chance. And he said, well, we'll keep an eye on and keep in contact. And and JR was there. I would talk to him quite often. And then Cornette helped me out, brought me down to the OVW, and he was trying to get me a job as one of the trainers down there, but it just didn't seem like it was going much of anywhere.
Right.
And then when they give Johnny Ace the job, I just wasn't in the category of just a little bit shy of over 6'2" and over 250. So that was going to happen. And then I was working with Dusty a lot lately, and he brought up when he got the TNA deal, so we'd like to come in there, and it seemed like it was a better possibility. And I talked to JR about it, and he said, you got to do what you think is best for you. He said, if you have a chance to make a living right now, and you don't think that we're doing enough for you, which we're not. And he said, the psychology on hiring people here, obviously will change because it has to. He said, but it can't hurt to go there, and you can only prove that you're in shape and could still go, and that your head's on right by doing something. You can't do it by, I'm busy as hell, but no one, there's only so many people at these shows that don't, get now it's publicity. I'm just busy because I need to make a living. But he said, it couldn't hurt to be on, the other TV program and being seen. It could only help. So, do what's right for you, and they'd still be there.
Right. In June, you were rumored to have a scheduled dark match, I guess, at SmackDown. Whatever happened with that?
It was people, made a bigger deal out of it that it was right. I was supposed to work with Carly. Right. And then a little bit before we were getting ready to go, Vince just came up and said, "Hey, so I really need Carly to be a heel." And well, Skip, you're not that good of a babyface. I said, yeah, I know. He said, Carly's not really catching on to being a heel. He's always been a babyface in Puerto Rico. He said, we don't know what kind of reaction I would get coming out in Long Island. If the ECW fans there, if they're going to cheer me, boo me. Is that Carly needs somebody who's going to be a straightforward babyface. So, do you mind if Funaki does it instead of you? Because I really need Carly to do this. And when Mr. McMahon says, do you mind? What are you going to fucking... I mean, if it was a couple years ago, I said, yeah, I fucking mind. Who the hell are you? You're only own the world. But I was like, fucking no. Thank you for letting me in the building. Right. I mean, I was in the building, in my gear, sitting in the grill position, getting ready to go. It was a lot closer than I thought I'd be after the way I acted up there.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.